Hi, this is Engineer Usman again with the training session of estimation work. Previously, we gave you a brief idea about the estimation and the tool or the software that we're going to utilize for making an estimate. Today, we're going to be talking about the type of the drawings and how the layout is being presented in the drawings. So, here we have the major categories like site or civil drawings, the architectural drawings, the structural drawings, and the MEP drawings. And here is uh, the typical sheet of the drawing. In this sheet, we have a seal over here, or you can have a seal over here, like this. In the seal portion, we can have the drawing number, the drawing title, maybe like here, and in this portion we can have the revisions. That's going to tell us what is the latest revision date of that particular drawing page. Here you can have the particulars of the architect, the project, the client, or other consultants if they are in the project. So coming towards the civil or site drawings, we're gonna just give you the brief idea. There can be a multiple other type of drawings we can encounter, but this is just a brief idea. First of all, in civil or site work drawings, we can have an overall site layout or site plan, the grading, the soil erosion or silt fence, uh, the utilities. In utilities, you can have the drainage, the lighting, the telecom. Then we can have retaining walls if there is a lot of difference in the grade level. We can have the retaining wall drawings as well. And the most important, of course, for developing a site is the landscaping or the green area. Okay, so talking about this overall site or layout, we'll just have a brief location plan. Then we're going to have a zoom or blow up plan for the particular site. And of course, we're going to be having the details, what's existing and what is going to be proposed over that particular site. Then we will be having a grading plan. In grading plan, we'll be having the contours levels, existing contour levels and new contour levels, from which we can easily have an idea about the cut and fill of the particular job site. In addition to that, we'll also be having the footprint or the footpath for the buildings that are going to be constructed in that particular area if there's a building in that particular project. In soil erosion and silt fence or maybe the fencing, there will be a security fence or construction fence plans, some other minor details required for a particular project. In utilities, like the word states, we'll be having the drainage, the water supply, the gas supply, the optical fiber, the telecom, anything that's required for the building process to occur, that will be included in the utility plans. And definitely we're going to be having different details in the blow up plans. In the retaining wall, like the name says, we're going to be having first of all the overall plan, then we'll be having the details like the structural drawing that I'm going to tell you in a while. So in landscaping drawings, there will be the counts for the trees, the landscaping, the green area, and the most important part, they can have the paved area where we can have pavers or we can have sidewalks, concrete sidewalks. So those items will be elaborated in that part. In overall site or layout, we'll definitely be having the road plans. I mean, where there are going to be pavement, the rigid pavement, the flexible pavement, the heavy duty or light duty pavements, depending on the required needs. In addition to that, we can have, apart from these, we can have the other drawings as well, like the stripping plans, the traffic diversion plans. It again depends on how big is the project, how complex is the project. If the traffic diversion is required, definitely we're going to be having the traffic signage plan, traffic diversion plan. And if it's a bigger area, we're going to be definitely having a parking area where we have to put some markings for the ADA requirement for counting the parking areas. Coming toward the architectural portion, These are the basic requirements to prepare the architectural drawing set. Uh, First of all, we'll be having the floor plans, then we'll be having the elevations, sections, then details and the schedules. In floor plans, it will be a 2D plan, uh, section cut at the sill level of a particular building. Then the elevations gonna be telling us about what are the heights, how it's gonna look from the exterior. Then to elaborate about the minor details, we can have the sections. That's going to elaborate how much is the total floor depth, what's under the slab, that is the ceiling, what's on top of the slab, that is the floor finishes. Then there can be more details. Sometimes the project is so big that you have to prepare additional details apart from the sections. Like the blow-up plans, you have to zoom in for the lintel details, the sill details, and the flooring and ceiling details. So in those drawings, the detailed drawings, we're going to be having the details for these areas. Then last part is the schedules. Finish schedule, door schedule, window schedule. We're going to be having different items in the finish schedule. The floor schedule, the floor finish, the ceiling finish, the wall finish. Sometimes, depending on the details that the architect provide, we can have the finishes for all four elevations of the walls in a room, like north wall, east wall, south wall, west wall. It depends on the details. In the door schedule, we'll be having what type of doors gonna be using, what's the frame, what's the fire rating, and what's the hardware type we'll have to use. In window schedule, definitely there will be two categories: the storefront and the windows, the skylights. All the openings will be covered in the window schedule. They're going to be providing the material, type of material, the size of the windows. More or less, these are the same. Then, after the architecture part, we have the structure part, which is more or less, you can say, the shell of the building. Just like the architectural part, we'll be having the different plans, floor plans, and maybe elevations if required. So one by one, sometimes the buildings, maybe there can be basements or there can be a cellar where we have to dig deep below the 5 feet. If you're gonna be excavating below more than 5 feet in the ground, you're gonna have to provide the shoring. That's compulsory. So we'll be having the shoring plan. We stated by SOE drawings. Then, if the adjoining building, the foundation of the adjoining building is above the foundation of the new building that you're going to construct, we'll have to do the underpinning in that particular portion. So we can have the underpinning drawing. Then sometimes, depending on the details of the architect or the engineer, they can provide you with the excavation drawings that you have to do the excavation with this much slope in this area, and you have to do shoring where the excavation or slope is not possible. After shoring, we have the framing plans, just like I told you, foundation plan. Then afterward, for every floor plan, we'll be having a framing plan where we have beams, the columns, the metal deck that you're gonna use, metal deck or any other deck. Then we have the schedules. In schedule portion, sometimes the beams, the columns can be presented in the form of schedules. Which column type, which beam type, what's the reinforcement, what's the steel beam size or steel section sizes. After that, sometimes the architect or the engineers prepare the elevations where we have to show the bracing details for more elaboration and site execution related matters. We have to sometimes show the bracing in elevations. You might find there can be a frame, and these cannot be shown on plan. If the guy is non-technical or say he don't have the proper knowledge, he can misinterpret, because on plans it can be shown with just a single line. At that time, the engineer, whenever he feels comfortable or he thinks that he has to elaborate, he must prepare the elevations. And details, of course, the joint details, he'll definitely go for the drawing details in the structural drawings. Last but not least is the MEP part, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. In the mechanical part, we have HVAC drawing, heating, ventilation. In electrical, we can have the fire alarm combined in the electrical portion. In the plumbing, we can have the fire suppression, that is sprinkler drawings. So in our course, we'll just be focusing towards the site, the architecture, and the structure part. We'll not be covering, for now, we'll not be covering the MEP part, but we'll definitely give you the idea about the MEP drawings in later in the other stages of the training course. That's all for today. For the next session, press the bell icon to get the notification. Thank you.